Hi guys, Jason from JVA Carpy Adventures here, and you join me for 72 hours at the amazing Bluebell Lakes. I'm actually going to be on Sandmartin Lake for this trip. It is my first time visit ever here, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it, guys. Got here at 6:15, I was fourth on the gate, so happy days. Had a little bit of a walk around. Know the winds are going to be coming in quite harsh, northeasterlies, so I kind of wanted to be on the back of them if I'm honest. I've managed to get on to the eastern side. I'll show you a little picture here of where I am. So I've got a lovely little corner with some great margin spots, overhanging trees, and I've been told it has produced fish in the past, in its day. It's not been fishing well at the minute, but it has produced fish. So I'll show you the swim. I've got nothing out of the van or anything. I'm absolutely buzzing. I want to get set up, watch the water, see what's happening, get the deeper out, have a little investigations around. I can see with the way it is, I'm probably going to be in waders for this trip, which probably going to be falling in or out of the waders. I'm sure that'll probably get on camera at some point. So only leaves me to say, let's roll the intro, guys. Morning guys, so as you would have gathered from the intro, I am on Sandmartin Lake at the Bluebell Lakes complex in Peterborough. So Sandmartin has about 250 fish in it. Not much has been coming out this week though. It's not an easy lake. Now for the next couple of days we've got some really strong northeasterly winds. I wanted to try and be, and they're cold, so I wanted to be on the back of the wind. You wouldn't believe it with this sun at the minute. So I wanted to be on the back of the wind, so I kind of wanted that northeast bank. Couldn't get on there, but I could get on the east bank. So I'm in a little corner. I am happy with the swim. I haven't seen any signs of any fish at all, but before I can start my fishing I've got to do a little bit of swim maintenance. So it's very shallow close in, and I've got loads of twigs and everything all in front of my swim, so if I'm bringing the fish in there I wouldn't be happy with it, so I need to clean it out. So one of the things I've got, guys, to do exactly that job is like a little rake. So, don't know if you get that, there you go. So a little rake. So I'm either going to try raking it, or I've got this dinghy hook that I use for my bait boat when it's really deep down to the water, so I'll be doing that. If I can't get it with either of those, then I'll jump in the waders and I'll go out and clean the area up. So I'll show you a little bit of that, of why I'm concerned. And you know, before I start my session, it just makes perfect sense. Spend half hour cleaning the swim a little, and then I'll be happier. It's looking like I'm probably going to need to be getting into the waders to pull any fish in. I'm going to have to go out a little bit, so happy days. Let's see what it brings. Let me show you that little bit of twigs and all I was talking about, guys. Alright guys, so this time we'll put a polarising lens on. Makes it much clearer to see what my problem is, and I've kind of got that pretty much through most of the swim. So I need to just take care of all this sort of stuff in the water. Can't fish with that in front of me. Alright guys, well I don't need to go out too far. Literally just probably to the first plateau. But let's just tidy all this area up really. Start with what's in front of me. Alright guys, so as you can see, half an hour's work clears my swim of all of this lot. So, you know, you can leave it and you might catch a fish in it. If you go running in your waders, you might trip over it. There's loads of things that could happen, guys. Just for the sake of half an hour work, really makes good sense. Make sure you've got a safe environment to fish in. Okay guys, so I chose this swim primarily because it was on an east bank and it's a northeasterly wind, but also because of the margin I have here. So I've been over to the guy who's in a peg just on that corner there. He's only gone as far as that tree, so essentially from the centre of your screen here I've got all this margin to play with. and an overhanging tree right in front of me, and I believe it drops off really quick here, so it's looking like happy days. So I've already been over there twice having a look, but I thought, you know what, it might be good to get a little bit of footage for you guys to show you what it's like. Crystal clear water here, absolutely beautiful. Right, guys, so my rods are over here. I'm on the far bank. I don't know if you can see, but it's gin clear water, absolutely beautiful. And I've got this tree here, and I'm pretty certain I've got a nice clear spot. You're probably not going to catch it on camera, unfortunately, but just under here, so that little light coloured bit, that's a lovely clear spot. So I'm going to get the boat out, have investigations over all of this margin, because I'll be honest, all of it looks good. It may be that I have one or two over here, but let's get the boat out, have some investigations and see where we're at. Another lovely little spot over here, guys. I mean, there's definitely stuff to go at over here, and like I said, that water is gin clear. Definitely time to get the boat out and have a look. Okay guys, so before I put them out, let me show you what's going on what rod. I'm going to show you the map, and I'm going to try points A, B, C first. I believe krill is good here, so I'm going to be going, spot A is going to be a solid PVA bag, spot B is actually going to be the Attract Naturel, which is a yellow pop-up on a Ronnie rig, and spot C is actually going to be a trimmed down Kriller pop-up so that it acts like a wafter. Now what you see on the table is actually exactly what's going to be going out, guys. There's going to be nothing else going in the hopper by these. So solid PVA bag will go out by itself. I might put a small handful of Kriller pellet in. The wafter's going to go out with just a little bag that's got some crush and pellet in, and the Ronnie rig Attract Naturel is going to go out with just a little mesh bag full of crush and 2mm pellet. So I'm going proper minimalistic this time, guys. Not gonna make the mistake I think I made at Todber Manor and put spod mix in. I'm doing nothing. I'm fishing for a bite and a bite only. It's not been fishing great at the minute, so I'm literally just fishing for a bite. .11:40 and the rods are finally in, guys. I had a good little wreck all along the margins over the other side, cleared out a load of sticks, stones and everything like that in front of me, so finally happy, got the rods in. Krill, Attract Naturel krill. Let's see what goes off. Morning guys, so coming up to 6 o'clock Friday morning. As you can maybe hear, it's absolutely peeing it down outside. Been chucking it down for a while, and I've had no fish, but promising. I did get a liner last night on my left hand rod, and during the night either the peg next to me or the one next to that I think had a fish. It certainly went off, so I believe one of the pegs next to me definitely had a fish, so there's no chance I'm going to move now. You know, definitely feel a bit more confident. Not going to be moving the rigs or doing anything with them till probably after 10 o'clock. I don't know the bite times here, excuse me, but or until the rain stops. I think it's due to stop around maybe 11, so I might wait till then. But yeah, I wasn't really expecting anything the first night. I was just hoping to maybe get the odd liner, but then thinking about it later, I kind of realised, well, with the way it drops off really quick here, I'm probably more than unlikely to get a liner, because on two of the rods I am at the lower depth. So my line's going to only have a short bit of line laid before it hits a big drop, and then it's kind of going to be tight down there, so that's probably why you don't really hear many liners around the lake either, because I'm guessing everyone's fishing into the deep, so the line layer's kind of hugging the ground and not getting much of an area for the fish to hit. So yeah, you're probably not going to get that many liners, but the one that did go off is one that I've got going over towards the far margin, and instead of hitting the bowl and going down, I'm kind of going across, so I'm not quite so deep there. I think it was about 8.5 foot instead of like the 16, 17 foot where it is elsewhere. So I'm going to have a coffee, wake up a little bit, listen to the rain, watch the water, pray for a sign of a fish. You never know. It could happen. It's only got to happen once for me to be a happy man. So fingers crossed. Gonna have a coffee, wake up, give you an update later guys, let you know what I'm doing. Alright guys, so let's give you a bit of a Friday afternoon update. So I put the rods in yesterday about 20 to 12, so I wanted to give them 24 hours at least on the spots they're on. So yesterday was 2 kriller and 1 attract net trail. I didn't get any bites, but I did have a couple liners off of one of the krillers. So because I believe kriller's meant to be okay here, I'm sticking with 2 krillers today. But this morning, whilst it was raining, I kind of saw a carp do a bit of a tail flat underneath the tree nearest me. That was 100% where I was going to put a rod for sure today, but it's shallower there, and the wildlife here ducking down and absolutely everything. There's a bird called a grebe here. They can swim underwater and they're really killing everywhere here from what I can see. So I decided to go for what I caught at Toddber Manor on, which is Bait Solutions Total Nuts, because it's a very sandy colour and it's a very sandy coloured bottom here. I thought it would blend in, so that's my reasoning behind that. I'll kind of show you the spots map that I've put out, and I'll let you know spots B and C are the kriller, one's a pop up, one's a wafter, and spot D is the one underneath the tree closest to me, which is a Total Nuts. So again, no back leads on today. I don't think it's that much of a problem with the line, because where the kind of water goes out quite shallow and then drops, and then if you're past that point, unless you're on the top shelf, you'll be fine, but if you're past that point, your line's going to kind of slope down anyway, so it's not somewhere you're going to get loads of liners really. I think yesterday I'd gone where the bowl went down, and then I was coming back up to the bank. I was just above it, so that's where I'd got some liners. So I've brought that rod back, so that is actually point C today. Fairly hopeful. Again, I think I'm probably, unless I see something to go at, I'm probably going to leave these rods in until tomorrow. I know people redo them and all the rest of it, but I've spent time with a bait boat, having a look around. Also, fingers crossed, I'll be showing you some underwater footage using the fish spy, so hopefully I'll be able to show you some of that, so that's really good. Also guys, keep asking about the battery on the Alt Technologies battery. I'm still using it guys. I think it is getting close to that 50% mark, but I've already done a 48 hour at Mouse Hole, 72 hour at Toddber Manor, and now I'm on day 2 at Sandmartin. So I'll show you what the battery level is now, but it's still going. So you know, I do investigations and everything, run it back and forth. I have the deeper going, zigzagging, you know, so I do use it a fair bit. So far the Alt Technologies battery is still going. If I haven't already showed you it, I'll show you the little clip from my trip at Temple Lake, where I when I first got hold of the battery, so I'll run that for you. If you've been following my vlog, you know I've recently bought myself a New Direction bait boat too. I'm going to do a review on it at some point, but what I want to talk to you about is the battery you get with it. So you get this standard battery, it's 5200 milliamp hours, and it did seem to last me the weekend, but I'm going to France soon and that ain't going to last me for jack, and I don't want to be charging the battery every single day sort of thing. So I needed a bigger and better battery. So a little bit of research and I found this bad boy. So the company name, if you can catch that, is Alt Technologies. They are based in Epsom. So this bad boy is 1400 milliamp hours and will last approximately 3 times as long as the standard ND battery you get now, but at only twice the price. That's a no-brainer, isn't it, lads? Only twice the price, but lasts nearly 3 times as long. Happy days. So obviously I bought one, but they didn't have them at stock when I first went to buy it, so I was like, And basically a couple of family members, Caroline and Darius, thank you guys, were buying it for my 50th, which is next week. So I got in touch with the guy via Facebook Messenger. Said to him, "Oh, look, any chance you got any one of these coming back in stock? I need one. Family member wants to buy it for my 50th next week." Messaged me back literally within about an hour and said, "Okay, look, let me add one to my stock, go to the website and buy it," which I did. How's that for customer service, guys? I had a desperate need like that, put one on the website for me, be ready for you next week. Obviously I've already got it. Fantastic service. So I want to let you know about these guys. It's Alt Technologies. They do bespoke batteries, but they do batteries for electric bicycles, electric scooters, they do power packs, and obviously what concerns me, they do them for bait boats. So all you guys watching my vlogs, if you've got a bait boat and you need a battery, I suggest you go and have a look at Alt Technologies, give them a look at. I'm going to put some slides going across. This is what they do, guys. Extremely good at it, fantastic customer service, really worth giving them a look at. I can't recommend them enough. And from me, thank you Alt Technologies. I can't wait to use the battery. Sorry guys, something else I forgot to say. The guy next to me is in what is known, if you look at the carp feed map for Sandmartin, he is in the swim that is known to have a hot spot in front of it, and he did actually have a fish last night. So I spoke to him earlier about 4 o'clock in the morning on a pink little wafter, but it was about £6 or £7, so he didn't bother taking a picture, bless him. Still hopeful. Still really windy conditions here, not too pleasant if I'm honest. It's raining through the night quite heavily, raining heavily this morning, stopped about midday. It's giving me time to get the rods out, but the winds again are picking up really quite high here, so yeah, it's not fantastic. It's not bad for fishing, but for having a pleasant time out in the open space, no, it's not great in a minute. I'll give you an update later. Just before I put the camera away, I just wanted to mention something actually, because I'm sitting in my bivvy, get a shout out from the road, and it's the guy who's opposite me. His name's Simon. Really nice guy. I went and spoke to him yesterday just to introduce myself and to see how far in my direction he was fishing, so I wouldn't be fishing anywhere near him. Really nice guy, I had a lovely chat with him, and he's going up the shops. Stops by, gives me a holler. "Do you need anything up the shops, mate? I'm going up shops. Do you need anything?" You just really meet nice guys on the bank. You know, I really do like all that camaraderie, to be fair. It's just really nice. You know, everyone looks out for everyone else, everyone keeps an eye on their gear and all the rest. It's nice. So, thumbs up, Simon. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Alright guys, just thought I'd give you a bit of a Friday evening update on the bank, since it's not raining and it's kind of bright, so it looks kind of lovely. So still on Sandmartin Lake, doing a 72-hour session. I've had nothing the first day here, 3/4 of the way for the second day. I put the rods out at midday and I'm leaving them in for 24 hours, so I'll be bringing them in tomorrow. But I have just seen one bosh out in that side of the lake, in the middle. Would I say it's in front of, probably in front of the next swim, but halfway out, so probably on the edge of where he can get to, or where he's allowed to get to. I believe he said he's only allowed 9 wraps out there. I'm allowed 11 wraps out here. So fills me with a little bit of confidence. No fish are in the area. I'm not unhappy with my rigs are, not unhappy with the rigs. I'm happy with everything, to be fair. Just need a fish to come across it. So just to let you know about this place, it's the first time I've been here. Luckily enough, I got here early enough that I was full from the gate. So the gates open at 7. You drive down to reception. I'll show you a little picture. Go in, let them know how long you want to do. They give you a sticker. You put that on your bucket. You leave your van in the car park by reception, walk around the complex, find out what lake you want to go on, go back to reception and pay. Great little system, guys, I've got to be honest. They've got a nice little toilet block which is near the reception, which has got toilets, showers, which is nice. They've got a lovely little, I don't want to call it a burger van because it's like a full canteen, so they've got a nice little, I think it's called Benson's Kitchen. So they've got Benson's Kitchen, show you little pics here, lovely, really nice. So you've got on-site food. Bailiffs are really helpful here. Really is a nice complex, guys. And as you would have seen from the pictures, I'm literally parked on top of my swim. Not even behind my swim, I'm literally parked on top of my swim. So for getting stuff in that, the van and all that, it's really, really handy. Absolutely lovely. Obviously we've had a fair bit of rain and all, but bright for this evening. Lovely Friday evening. It's a little bit chilly. It doesn't look it. It looks like it's a beautiful summer's evening, but actually it's a little bit chilly, guys. Hence why I've got the old beanie on, and probably end up putting a jacket on in a minute as well if I'm going to stay outside. So, fingers crossed for a fish tonight. If I get one, obviously I'm going to give you the update, and I'll be beaming probably if I manage to get a fish out of here. I'm sure I already said, but the guy in the peg next to me who has got a hotspot in front of him did catch a fish on a pink pop-up, but it was only a small 6-7 pound mirror. So Friday night's update, guys. Check in with you when I either have a fish or in the morning when I haven't had a fish. Morning, guys, your morning update. So it's 5:15. I've been up for a couple of hours listening to the water, and there's been fish bushing about, absolutely just nowhere near me. So, well, I say nowhere near me, I have heard them coming from in front of the next bay. It may be a little further out than what their water is, I'm not sure, but definitely not on my side. So I do believe the guy next door is leaving today, so I've gone and put a bucket by his swim. So I'm literally gonna have a coffee, wake up a bit, and then do a slow pack down. I don't know what time he's leaving. It might not be till midday. I've got no idea till he wakes up and I have a word with him, but I've put my bucket there. I'm gonna get into that swim and fingers crossed get a fish in the last 24 hours. Morning, guys. So thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. Obviously I've been in this swim now for 48 hours, just under. I didn't get the rods until about 11, it's 8 o'clock now. So just under 48 hours, I haven't had any fish, haven't really seen much to go at in front of me. So I was up a lot of the night listening. I could hear that pretty much if you're on either the north or south bank and are able to cast to the middle of the lake, you're in a good spot. I've reeled in this morning, had a walk around, no swims are available on either of those banks. So my next best bet is a swim that's next to me. It's meant to have a little hot spot in front of it, and I know the guy's leaving today, so I've put a bucket in front of his swim. He's not up yet, so I don't know what time he's going to be leaving. I'm guessing it'll be afternoon. So whenever he leaves, I'm going to jump in that swim. But for now, I've come back, fluoro pop-ups on all 3 of my rigs, so I thought I might as well show you what's on what and where until I move. So my right hand rod is on a white Kriller 12mm pop-up, 10.5 wraps out, just about here. My middle rod is on a pink 12mm Kriller pop-up, just about here, and that's at 10 wraps, sorry. And my left hand rod is on a orange Carp Basics Walnut pop-up, and that's at 10 wraps at about here. So these side swims, you can't actually go out very far. So if you want to get to the middle, which is where most of the fish have been showing, unfortunately you need to be on either the north or the south bank, and I'm not, I'm currently on the east bank. But I'd be more confident if I was in that middle swim that I could get out a little bit closer. So I am going to make the effort and move later, and fingers crossed it will pay off. But for now, that's where the rod's off for now, and I'm probably going to, I think because there's a little bit of debris, I probably will stay on pop-ups today maybe. Okay guys, so it's about 10:30 Saturday morning. I've got to be off tomorrow by 8 o'clock. So I've got less than 24 hours and I've just moved to a new peg. Haven't got set up or anything. The rods are there on the floor, no bivvy or anything else to set up, so I need to get all that done. Then I need to find some spots, then I need to put some fresh rigs on and get them out. But I'm now on the east, well, I was on the east bank, I'm still on the east bank, but now I'm in the middle. So rather than sort of the southeast corner, I'm going to be in the middle, which, even though you can only go out about 11 wraps, so not quite where the fish are, but I'm way closer than where I was. The rest of the lake is full, so this is about as good as it's going to get for me, but I'm hopeful. I think on the carp feed map it says there's a hot spot out in front of me, so I might show you that. Fingers crossed I might be able to get pink southern cover in the next 24 hours. Okay guys, so I've moved to a new swim. So I've got to start all the investigations again, but on these east and west bank swims you don't have a lot of water, so we're sort of talking, well, you have a fair bit of water, but you can't go out very far because you've got the north and south banks that go out to the middle. So best thing for me is to wrap up. I believe maximum you can go is 11. I've wrapped up at 10 wraps. I'd like to be as close to the middle as I can because that's where I've seen them boshing out. So I've wrapped up at 10 wraps, put a marker float on and just sent it out there. So let's show you where that is. Pretty hard to see even with a telescopic zoom, but there you go. So there's my orange little marker float. That is out at 10 wraps. So now I can safely put the bait boat out with the deeper, investigate all the area out to that and the left and right without annoying anyone. Just good etiquette guys when you're on the bank. Afternoon guys, so it's just about 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Obviously I changed swims, did a load of investigations with the boat and the sonar, found out it is literally 20 foot at my maximum wraps, but it's kind of just beyond that I've seen them boshing out all night, so I do kind of have to go out that far. So I've put 2 rods out there. First one is on a yellow Krilla pop-up and that's about here, which is dead on 10 wraps. Second one is on a pink Krilla pop-up and that's about here, also at 10 wraps. And then whilst I was making up the rigs, see this tree just here, right in front of it, literally just about there, an absolute lump boshed that. So that one's got a krill pop-up in a solid PVA bag with no freebies, that's just been thrown out by itself. So fingers crossed for that one. Nice to actually see a fish and in my swim. So happy days, feeling happy. Obviously you can see guys, this is an absolutely beautiful lake. Really is lovely here. Fortunately the weather's turned nice at the minute, so it is absolutely beautiful. Sandmartin Lake at Bluebell Lakes Complex. Beautiful. Really nice place guys as well. Bailiffs are nice. Lady in Benson's kitchen was lovely yesterday when I went and asked to take some photos. Just nice people here. I've met some nice people on the bank. It's been a really nice trip, but I've got less than 24 hours to nab a fish. Fingers crossed guys, fingers crossed. Alright guys, so I thought I'd give you a bit of an update for Saturday evening. So essentially I put my rods out, I think it was about 2 o'clock actually, it's quite late. So I got my rods out about 2 o'clock, happy with the spots, and then about 10 minutes later a fish jumped out literally about 2 meters in front of my rods. I was like, oh, reeling rod, my first rod, so right hand rod, point A, reeled it in, which I shouldn't have done. I should have left it where it is for that point. Got the marker float out, started chucking it out, testing the depth. It was literally like where I saw the fish, it was like weedy and 1.5 foot. So I'm like, yeah, great. A little bit further out, went to 3 foot, again really weedy, nothing I can present in, so I'll get it back out to point A. So I went out to point A, so then I'm sitting here thinking, I'm in 20 foot of water, and I'm sure the water's not going to be warm down there. I'm sure they're probably in the upper layers, even though I haven't seen anything on the deeper to tell me so, to be fair, but I'm sure they're probably, well, plus obviously I've seen 2 fish as well, so obviously on the surface, so I don't think they're all hanging around on the bottom, to be fair. I'm hoping they will at some point, but I don't think they'll hang around at the bottom. So I'm like, I could really do with doing zigs, but in the swim I'm in, casting's a real problem. So unless I want to get the waders on, go out, have the zig on the bank and hopefully not hit the tip of the trees, which I would be worried about if I was going to try and put a 12 or 14 or 15 foot zig on. I would definitely struggle to cast it, if I'm honest. So it has made me look at the zig dropper for the ND bait boat, so that might be something I get. So I was like, I could do without being on the bottom, I think. I think I need at least one rod that's not on the bottom. So when I got here, I was speaking to the bailiffs in the shop and saying about, you know, to let me know how deep it is and all the rest. And he actually mentioned to me about using a gripper lead. So I was thinking about it. I think, you know what? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Do it on the slope and use a gripper lead. Now, I don't use gripper leads all that often, but it just so happens that Todburn Manor, I went and bought a couple because I wanted to try and pin the fish spy down without it moving when I was reeling down to it. So I bought a couple 6-ounce leads, really too heavy for my situation, but I just thought, well, you know what, took the deeper out, found a spot of 16 foot or 15 and a half, 16 foot, marked it as point A now on the autopilot, brought it in, sent it out with a 6-ounce gripper lead on, and I've set the tail rubber to come off as soon as it gets a take, really. So should give itself a good hook, lead will drop, happy days, fingers crossed. So I've essentially got my right hand rod on the slope at about 15 foot in 20 foot of water, so I'm quite confident with that one. Put a little bit of pellet out thinking it will, because it's the shape of it, it should sit still rather than roll down. I've got one that is in the 20 foot of water, and I've got the other in about 4.5 foot of water, where a fish, an absolute chunk, showed earlier. So I've done everything I can fishing wise. I think, you know, I've been using the marker float, leading about loads. They're bushing out here as well at the minute, but unfortunately right in the middle and it's not my water. You can only kind of get it from the north bank or the south bank, so I can only go out 10 wraps here, so I'm limited with what I can do, but I'm alright. I'm confident. I've blanked for 48 hours. I've got less than, well, actually probably about 15 hours left now to catch a fish, so fingers crossed I can put one on the vlog for you. So that's your evening update. Not going to do any rod changing. I'm happy with where they are for now. They're going to stay that way till either I leave tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock or I catch a fish, and I'll get back to you if that happens. Cheers guys. Morning guys. So Sunday morning, 5:15, still no fish. So just kind of do a bit of a quick recap. So I did 48 hours in the peg next to me, no signs of fish, nothing to go at. Heard everything boshing over this side. Moved yesterday morning. Within hours of being here, 2 fish had boshed out literally right in front of me, within like 5 metres of where I am. I was like, happy days. Put rigs out, decided to make a couple of changes, made another one at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I'll get to it in a minute, and still no fish. Now, what I want to say is, even though I haven't had any fish, and I'm massively disappointed up to now, I'm not disappointed with my angling. So when I got here in that peg, I did kind of really hope to get on the northeast side, which I didn't quite manage, but I did manage to get on the east side. So okay, fair enough, the wind was behind us, great. Found a peg that I thought looked really good. First thing I did, saw initially that it was shallow and that I was likely to have to go into the water to net a fish safely, and saw that it's full of sticks and everything. So I took the time to rake out the swim, took loads out of the way, made it safe for me and the fish. So I was happy about that. I then spent plenty of time going through the margins with the Polaroids, looking for spots, but with the bird life, ducking down on them constantly, it wasn't going to be a good idea, so I avoided that. I did lots of leading around, lots of investigations with the boat and the sonar, picked my spots. I was happy with my angling, I was happy with the rigs, I was happy with everything I was doing, but it just didn't happen for me. So moved over to this swim, which I was happy about moving. Again, same scenario. Totally different swim though, I will say. In the other swim there's practically no weed. Over this side there's plenty of weed. So total contrast in that sort of style. So found some spots, happy days. Whilst I was finding the spots, an absolute unit jumped out in front of me, just to the left, not 2 metres off the bank, 2.5 metres off the bank. So I put a solid bag over there, got all the rods out, and then about half an hour later, one kind of did a triple jump, probably again 3.5 metres in front of my rod tips. So I'm like, right, bring one rod in, started leading about, to realise it's too shallow and weedy there to present anything. It was literally 2 foot of water and just weed all the way mostly to the top. So I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be presenting that. So put it back out to point A, which was, you know, in about 19 foot of water. Then a little later, thinking about it, well, I've got one down at 20 foot. I want to bring that one up higher. So I'd remembered speaking to the bailiff here and he said about using a gripper lead. So I thought, right, you know what? I'll put a 6-ounce gripper lead on, set the tail rubber to come off so it would eject on the take, and put it at about 15 foot. So that's what I did. So I was really happy with that. So I was feeling fairly confident, to be fair. I was like, well, I've got the margin spot, I've got that should be at the right height. You know, happy days. Then up during the night, could hear them boshing again, literally right in front of my swim. So, you know, there's fish in the area, 100%. So I'm like, right, I can't keep listening to this and not do anything about it. My middle rod's in 20 foot of water, I don't believe they're down there. Reeled it in. So did a little bit of leading about in the dark. Went out probably 3 wraps, just under arm casting, leading about, and determined it was about 7 or 8 foot. So I thought, right, I'm going to put a 2.5 foot zig on to get over the height of the weed. And then leave it at that, because I'm sure they're going through the weed as they're swimming through. So I did that at about 4:15. So even though I haven't caught to now and I haven't got long left, I have been really happy with my angling. I've also realised that there's probably a lot of situations where I could probably do with some longer zigs already made up, like here. You know, I really could have done with some longer zigs made up for here. But also a better supply of gripper leads, and because I only really bought the gripper leads recently for using my fish spy. So I'm still learning every time I'm out on the bank. Got more going into noggin, more things thinking. Also, I've got the ND bait boat, and there's an ND fish eye do a zig dropper for it. And I was thinking, oh, you know, that probably wouldn't be bad if I could get into that 20 foot spot and have like an 18 foot zig on there. That would probably do me some good. So that might be something I might need to invest in. So you might see that on the channel at some point, guys. So yeah, disappointed not to have catch when I know there's fish in front of me. Also, the other thing is, the swim I came out of, the wind direction changed yesterday and they were boshing over there as well. So that guy's had plenty to go at also. I'm not sure he's caught anything, but he's had plenty to go at. So yeah, it's been one of them sessions. I've really looked forward to it. Really loved the complex. I will be back, 100% I'll be back to Bluebell. No doubt about it, but probably a bit better prepared. It's my first time here, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it. I'm learning each time. I know there's been guys here that have been here all week and haven't caught anything, so I'm definitely not going to beat myself up too much about it. But let's have some porridge, wake up a little bit. Speak to you before I leave, guys, if I don't catch. Okay guys, so it's about 7:30. My rods are still in for now, but I'm going to start packing down, try and be off by 8 o'clock or thereabouts. So I haven't managed to put any fish on the bank, and for about 24 hours I have had fish in front of me. So yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot this session, really enjoyed it. Would definitely come back to Sandmartin and Bluebell lakes, 100%, maybe try one of the other lakes. So overall I've had a really good week this week. I've done Todber Manor for 72 hours and then here for 72 hours. On that front, I've had a lot of guys asking with regards to the Alt Technologies battery that I bought for my ND bait boat. So basically, before this week, I'd already done 48 hours at Mousehole on it. I've then also done 2 lots of 72 hours on it. So effectively, it's lasted me just over a week. Now, I haven't been doing absolutely huge distances all the time, but let me just show you where the battery's at now. So I know I've seen a lot of guys saying they recharge them at 50%. But obviously I know there's a warning on the remote that lets you know when you should either charge the remote or the battery in the boat. So none of them have come up yet, so the battery is still good. That said, I am going to charge it before my next session, so I just wanted to let you know, guys know. Listen, I've done a full week on it, just over a full week. I haven't been doing super distances though, but I've done a full week on it, and I think it's 47 or 46% or whatever when I checked it this morning. So really give that the thumbs up. Obviously you're kind of getting 3 times the length for only twice the price, so can thoroughly recommend it. There's a whole load of hoo-ha going on with regards to New Directions 5-amp charger as opposed to using a 3-amp. My advice would be, I'll only tell you what I do, guys. I don't use the new direction 5 amp charger. I use a 3 amp charger. Up to you guys what you want to do. You research it and all the rest of it. I don't want to get into debate about the battery and charging it. If you do want one of those higher ampage batteries, then Naught Technology is definitely the company to go for. I'll put links below. Fantastic guys, really well worth going to them. So for a close on this session, I've had a great time. I've learnt a lot. I haven't put a fish on the bank, but I have learnt a lot, given me more things to think about, which is all good really for fishing. And moving forward, it means I'll be a little bit more prepared the next time, and then each time that rolls on, and then you'll get to a stage where I've got everything I need. Happy days. I'll go for this approach or that approach. So it's been a really good session. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything and it really helps me out. If you've enjoyed this video or any of my other videos, which might include bait making reviews, give them the thumbs up please. And if you want to be notified of future posts, hit that bell icon. So once again, thank you very much for watching the vlog. Thank you very much to all my subscribers. Only leaves me to say, stay safe, stay fishing. I'll see you in the next vlog.